Hello everybody, welcome to Board Game Storm. Today we're going to be playing Tiny Epic Quest. This is a cool little game that I've had for quite a while. It's a little lot to explain, but I'm really excited to share it with you today. It's a lot of fun with other people. You can play with up to 4 players. It says right on the side here, 4 players. About 60 minutes to play, which is perfect for a game storm. But we're going to be trying out the solo mode today. So I've got a nice little setup here, and I'm excited for you to come along with me. We're going to try to keep the vibes sort of chill. And yeah, let's get on into it then. So have this lovely little dice tray here. You can see that. We got all the things going on and this lovely little hero traveling around. We've got our nice rule book, which is pretty neat. Here's everything that we'll be needing to play today. There's a couple more things that I took out of the pack, but I figured that would just make some things easier if we just had only the necessary stuff for what we're doing today. And we got another sort of same as the front. It's got a part of the scoring on here, and there's some other Tiny Epic games like Tiny Epic Western, scoring on the other side, or Tiny Epic Galaxies. Kind of wonder what this one's about. Seems pretty interesting. Or at least I think it's pretty cool. And we love item meeples. They can hold on to little things. Let's get some of these guys out. I can sort of show you what's going on. So here's one. We got some of our meeples. Look at those. I got their little hands. They can hold on to things like that. Isn't that cool? I quite like them. Oh, can't forget the third guy. There we go. So we get 3 of those, as well as some other markers and things. All will be revealed. All will be revealed. Let's get some of this stuff out of the way. I'll be needing this later, so I'm just going to set it off to the side over here. But this other half of the box won't really be needing. We'll keep our instruction manual handy, just in case. Just in case. Got some cards. Got some dice. Let's have a look-see. In here we got a whole lot of goblins. Look at all these guys. Some lovely dice. Some lovely goblins that we will be using throughout the game. Let's put the goblins in a pile over here. Oop, there we go. Cool. And these dice we're going to set off to the side in the dice tray. Next up, an interesting little sound there. We've got a collection of different cards. This card we're not really going to need, but I think it looks cool. Here, let's hold that up there. You take a look at that. Isn't that kind of neat? I like this little adventuring hero person. They're getting ready to go into a dungeon. On the reverse side, also have a kind of interesting thing going on. Just a couple people resting. Looks like they've got like some fishing poles and they're cooking some food. Not as important for us, but I might fiddle with that as we play. We've got some movement cards here. These will be very important. And we're gonna go scoobadoo. That's what I have to say today. And sometimes my mouth doesn't make the noises I ask it to, and that's alright. It really be like that, but it do. And then we have all of these quests. We won't be completing all of these in one game, but it'd be nice to have them. There's lots of good rewards that we can get from those. I'm gonna give these a quick shuffle. Nothing too fancy, just mess them up a little bit. Get them all sorta in a slightly different order. There we go, that's something different. I'll go over here, we'll go right here. That's a nice spot for it. Now, this is the main card that we have going on here. Kind of all of the action happens right here. Let's set this card up. This is going to have our little max health token. This will have our max energy token. We'll have our current energy, and that's a nice little token that goes on there. And how about our current health as well? So we'll start at some 3 energy, and we'll start with 6 health. And then we'll want to get our legendary items on here, like the legendary shield, and the legendary sword, and this legendary staff. Or stave if you're feeling like calling it that. Whatever you feel like, honestly. I quite like staff, personally, but stave is a cool way to say it, to kind of mix it up, you know? But this will contain all of our information throughout the game. Now you might be wondering, look at these odd little tokens. Where do those go? That's a good point. We got this magic track here with our little mushroom guy. We'll save you for later. And then this little spell token. We'll be trying to get some spells through the course of our time here. But we aren't quite a magic user yet. Finally, we have this progression card. We're going to be starting on round 1, right there. We're going to have 5 rounds to see if we can get stuff done. We also have a much better scorecard on here, not like the one on the box before. It's got our spell level, how many points that gives us. It's got our quests, how many points that gives us. And it's got our goblins, gobble-obble-oblins. And they give us quite a few points. We also get some points if we are able to obtain our legendary items. So, see how many of those we can get. I'm not entirely sure exactly what I want to do this time, but it'll be hard to know until we have a map right in front of us. So let's start with that. We've got 4 castles. Look at that. 4 castles. This is our one, because we're the blue guys. So we'll go and hang out over in our castle. Got a red castle, got a green castle, and a yellow castle too, as well as a whole bunch of other cards. And I think I'm gonna mix these up too. I want to make sure that the map that we generate is something unique, you know? Just a fun time. So let's do maybe these ones on the bottom. And how about these ones in the middle? And maybe, I think just this one to the back. And, let's do a quick one more cut. And that'll probably be something pretty interesting. Now, what's next? It's a wonderful question. Let's start with the centermost card. That'll be about there. Then the top card. Bottom card. Left card. Right card. Perfect. So now we have this nice starting formation. Now we're going to need quite a bit of space here, because next we have to place the castles. Oop. Sorry, Mr. Lamp. My apologies. I didn't mean to bump into you there. But let's get these castles placed in. They go right along there. Now, finally, let's try and move some stuff out of the way here. Like I said, we're going to need quite a bit of space. And I might need to move my mic here. We'll be kind of bouncing around. Let's get this top coast in. We might move those down a tad. Just kind of shift everything. Now that we have the top coast, like such. And we'll do the right coast, which all goes in right there. And now we'll move this slightly so that we can get in our southern coast. I quite enjoy the southern coast. We'll move these into this nice little space we still have here. Perfect. Quite exceptional. And then we have one more coast, as I'm sure you may have guessed, that goes on this side. Oh gosh. Sometimes you run out of space, and I did a couple little setup rounds where I tried setting this up a couple times. And even if you plan a whole bunch, sometimes it just doesn't go any of the ways that you plan. And that's okay. Alright. I did want to have these extra little things around the edges. Just kind of show off some knickknacks and trinkets that I've obtained. I do love trinkets. It's one of my favorite things. I wouldn't say I obsessively hoard. I don't think that's really something that you would say about me. But it is definitely something I enjoy quite a bit. Just getting little things that maybe some other people might not care about as much as I do. But they mean a lot to me. There we go. That's a pretty nice looking map, wouldn't you say? Now, I think next, we've got quite a few options here. Let's get these goblins out of the way. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, since we need to move these off to the side. And, that's probably a good way to start. So all of these little goblins, they go on their portals here. Then we place some green side up for now. They tend to get pretty angry after the night, and then they might switch to being red side up. But for right now, they're just chilling. Kinda like us if you think about it. There we go. And we'll take the rest of these and just set them off to the side. We'll need them for later for sure, but not right now really. I fear that I may sneeze soon. It's a rather big worry of mine. I can feel. There's my sneeze. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. You're not going to hear it because I'm going to remove it. I will surgically remove the sneeze. But oh gosh. There was just nothing I could have done. Set our movement cards over there. And I don't think we're going to be needing this card. So we're going to set this off to the side. Lots of things going off to the side and all the which ways. Now, we've got a couple things that still need to be in places. One of those things, oh no, we lose some of those things off of there, but that's okay. Alright, theme of this episode, that's okay, it's alright. It's finals week. Or not finals week yet, but we're rapidly approaching finals week, at least where I go to school. And, sometimes that's really scary. So that's why I wanted to play this board game today. Not to say that it's less scary, or less stressful than finals week, but you know. Alright. I think a good place to start. Let's give these a couple more of a shuffle. Just, like, maybe like this. It's probably pretty good. We're going to take 3 of these. We're going to see what we get. This will hang out on the rules book, I think. These are going to be the quests that we have to complete. And they'll switch out as time goes on. But we've got some pretty interesting quests over there. I do wonder where our player card will go. It's kind of important. You know, and I have a quite ingenious idea. Maybe we do need this last bit of the box. What do you think about this? It goes bloop. And now we can move it around. Isn't that cool? It's almost like it was designed for that. Ooh, I had to restrain myself from saying happy little accidents there. I don't want to be too much like Bob Ross, as incredible as he is. Now, we're going to set this off to the side, just for right now. We'll bring it back later when we need it. Now, here's a great question. How do we start? And a good place to start is moving around. We sort of want to see, you know, where we can get to. Now, I get to draw 2 of these movement cards, and I get to see which way I get to move. I can pick between the 2, and that's gonna help us get our guys where we need them to go. Before we pick these first, we're gonna do this second. That's not how that goes, you silly Billy. We've got these quests, and these are gonna be pretty important if we hope to reach a high point total. We're not aiming for anything in particular. We're just gonna see what we can get. Now these are the ones that are on the table. I guess they're in the air right now. They're kind of in my hands, but they're kind of on the table. Now if we have 3 of our heroes in a formation that's kind of like this, so has 1 here, 1 in the middle, and then 1 on the side. It doesn't have to be here. It can kind of be anywhere. It could be here. It could be here. Well, not in our castle. We're not allowed to use our castle. It could be here. Except it can't. You know? It could be, not have a ton of options. Could be here, because that's not our castle. But that's pretty good. We get to move our spell token. We get to go up a spell level, and that would be pretty useful, because if you recall, that's points, baby. And I like getting points. What else do we have? Have 2 heroes in another player's castle. So we can move 2 of our guys and try and get them into one of these other castles here. Someone that isn't us. We're the only player. But then we could get this one. We get to move one of our heroes to any map card we want. Which actually, that sounds like a pretty good idea, because maybe we could move 2 into the castle, and then we could move one of the ones in the castle to somewhere else. And then we'd almost have everybody set up for this one. So maybe we get both of these. We'll certainly try. Let's see. We can get this lion key if we complete... Where is it? Looking for the water temple. Oh, here it is. It's right next to us. It's right here. So if we're able to get to the water temple, then we could get this really interesting key. What happens when we have the key? When the equipped hero enters a temple, immediately advance to the first space of the temple tract. Now that's pretty interesting. It means we can get through these temples maybe a little bit faster. So you can see we have these 4 spaces that we need to travel in order to get there. And if we had that key, instead of landing here and having to try and get onto one of those spaces, we could just go boop. So that's pretty interesting. If we want to end up at that water temple, well, I think it's probably more beneficial to go for these 2 movement quests first, and then we can try and figure that out later. Let's see. So which castles can we be at that would allow us to then move someone into this formation? I think it's only the green castle, since we can't use our blue castle. Because this one wouldn't work. This one, the yellow castle, could work too. Alright, let's see what's on the spaces adjacent. So the yellow castle, we have this spell that's super high up, but we maybe can't learn that yet. We have to learn the spells in a sort of order. You can only get so much power as the magic track goes up. So we want to try and start with maybe the 1st to 3rd one, and then see if we can get higher in sections each night. We're in the day phase currently, but when it turns to night, we'll start having to complete the things that we set up in this phase. So we can't really do that yet, but maybe there's a reason to do this temple. Let's see, what's over here? We got a goblin. As we know, those give quite a few points, so maybe we want to try and take out some goblins. We also have this grotto here. It's got some little mushroom guys on it. We gain 2 energy for every hero we have outside of our castle. Now that would be really useful if we were missing any energy, but we're not at the moment. We just started. So I don't know if the yellow castle is what we want to do. The green castle, we could do... Oop, this seems to be in the way. How about you get over here? The green castle, we could go to this one, where we can advance this magic track by 2, if we land on it. Maybe that'll help us, if we're trying to learn a spell tonight. And we also have this one too. But what if instead this was the top corner, and then we went down here and over here? It's also a good point. This one, we could roll some dice and advance characters that we have in the dungeons prematurely, which would be pretty cool. I don't know. I'm not really loving the options that we have for trying to get this quest done. But I think it's very important to try and do this. Let's take a look at one more thing. On our player card, we need to complete temples in order to get access to these legendary items. Now the water temple would be good, because that would advance our sword. And we would get this key too, so the water temple's pretty good. But getting the ice temple too, that advances our shield. Remember, that one's over here. So it sort of seems like maybe we get 1 guy set up on this goblin, we get 2 in here, and then we move someone to maybe here. Or possibly the ice temple, depending on what type of movement options we have. Alright, let's begin. Our first 2 cards, Raft and Griffin. Now Griffin, we can move as many squares as we want on a diagonal. So we could move, get right to the yellow castle there. Raft, we can move as many squares as we want on a vertical. This is not horizontal. This is horizontal. Or go by a vertical. Now, it seems like Griffin is definitely the choice here if we want to end up in this castle. So let's start there. We'll take one of our guys. We'll set him on the castle. Choose the Griffin. Now we can't use the griffin anymore. That's all done. Oop. Big old bonk on the desk there. Now, we do a shuffle again. So to mix them up a tad. I didn't do it very well, but again, that's okay. Our next choice is between moving on foot, or we can move one map card in any direction, so we can only go one, which might just be exactly what we want, isn't it? We can move exactly one character onto this goblin space here. And then the raft will go back in there. So now we can't use foot anymore. Now, two options that we have left are horse and ship. And if we're thinking about it, it seems like ship would be perfect for what we want to try and achieve here. Because we could move one character from here along the coast over to here, like a ship. And just like that, we have two of our heroes in another castle. So now immediately we get this quest, which, as you remember, that's points, baby. And we can move any one of our heroes to a map card that we want. That's a pretty good... We'll add this to our score pile over here. I'm just setting it by my player card. It's just off screen. Too many things to keep track of. Let's get another quest out, though. What do we got? Before we do our move, have all three of your heroes on at least three... Whew, I messed that up. Let's try it again. Have all three of your heroes at least 3 map cards away from each other. Count the map cards orthogonally. That's a big word. Orthogonally. It's a nice word. I like it. Now I still think we can move to any map card, and we know that we have raft or horse left, which is either horizontal by horse or vertical by raft. And we're kind of hoping to end up on the water temple. That's where I'd like to go. Now, I don't really want to move this guy, which kind of makes it an issue to get that one done. However, if I want to get this, I need to be here. And since I can only select one more of these, we only get to use 4 per round. We don't get to use all 5. It'd mean we'd have to move him away to do that, which I guess isn't the worst thing, right? So let's go with that. I think we get more stuff done that way. So we're going to take that special move we got for getting 2 heroes here. We're going to take this guy, move him over there. And because we have 1, 2, 3, we'll be getting this one. And now we can advance that spell token, which is this blue butterfly here. And we get to start on the snake spell. And I'll add this to my quest pile. Let's get out another quest. Oh, have all of your heroes on separate map cards that are not connected to the coast. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's see. We have one more choice of movement options. And I'm pretty sure... I guess this guy isn't doing anything, huh? That is kind of important. He wouldn't be doing anything unless we moved him. We could move him with the horse onto this goblin here. And that might work. That could be solid. Get some more goblins down. But I'm thinking actually I could also go up here. We could do that one. I'm thinking it might be okay. Let's just try to get these dungeons done. Temples done. And I think we'll skip the goblins for right now. Yeah, I think getting this quest is more important. It's more important to me, at least. So let's go on the raft, and we'll go up here. And we'll try to get both of these temples done. Ooh. I just put you in a bad spot, huh? I'm sorry about that. I'd say I didn't see you there, but I really did. I did indeed see you there. Alright. Now that we have kind of everything in place, it's time for the night phase. Let's take a look what we got going on here. We got health, we got energy, and now we have dice. We'll cover up the quests for now. Every turn we'll roll the dice and see what happens. And based on what we get, that's what's gonna happen. So, we got 1 punch, we got 2 torches, and we got 2 maps. That's a pretty good roll. With 2 maps, we can go 1 map, 2 map, and we're already halfway there. With 2 torches, we can go 1 torch, 2 torch. It's doing pretty good. Now, if we had stayed and we were attacking that goblin, we'd need this attack goblin, this paunch. But, since we're not, kinda does nothing for us right now. Let's go again. We want to try to get some stuff done. Ooh. That's kind of scary. Got lots of symbols going on here, huh? So first, we need to take our damage. Now, when you're playing solo in this game, you don't ever take, or I guess never say never, but when we're on level 1 of this magic track, the first damage goblin that we take, we actually don't take. So this one goes away. But on the second one, we do take damage. So we're going to need to move our counter down from 6 to 5. So that's a shame. We do get an energy though. And since we have a torch, we could spend some energy to move this guy further along. And since we're getting one back right now, it'd be a pretty smart idea to. Normally it costs 2 energy to do that, so we'd go down to 1. But we get 1 back, so we go back up to 2. And then, boop. Almost done. And, just like before, not really doing that. So, no paunching to be found. We're getting pretty close. Let's see if we can get some more stuff happening. We're lucking out here. Now we don't take the first one, remember? So that one goes away. We gain energy, which is lovely. So now we're back at max already. Now we just have, oops, that was a torch. And we have a map. Now 2 torches gets us to the end here, which means this one's done. As soon as we decide to call it quits for the night and go on home, that one will be all good. So we don't need to worry about torches anymore. And since we're in such a good spot, we might as well spend some energy to turn this map into 2 maps. And we'll go down to 1 energy, like such. And now all we need is 2 maps, and then we've completed everything we wanted to do. Let's see if we get it. Oh wow. We certainly do. Now these mushrooms, just so we know for future times, they make this little mushroom guy go 1, 2. The amount that pop up, that's the amount of spaces. And as we get higher up, things get more dangerous, and we have more magical power. So we'll certainly be using that later. But for right now, we don't even need to worry about it, because we got those 2 maps we were hoping for. Boop. Now these dice can go away, because I'm pretty satisfied with that. We accomplished everything we wanted to do. So, with that, we're gonna end everything off. We'll move up to the second round. All of our guys will get to go back. Since we completed the water, we get this, which means from my little shop over here, which you can't see, but it's there, we get this little key. And we can give that to him. Good job. And we'll add this to our quest pile. Now, we get to progress our legendary sword. So now all we need is this skull dungeon. And our legendary shield. So now all we need is this sun dungeon. And since we moved all 3 of our guys back, it means we get to add 3 more energy, or health, or a combination of the 2. Now I'm thinking we just go back up to full. So we'll take 1 health, and then 1, 2 energy. Perfect. And let's move this out of the way. Now, remember how I said that those goblins tend to get pretty angry? Yeah. We get to choose which 3 are going to get pretty angry this time. Now, if we try to move through a map card that has an angry goblin, we'll need to spend some energy to slip on by. But I think we're going to figure that out just fine. I'm thinking we're likely not going to pass this one, or this one, or this one. So they'll be pretty safe bets. Let's get another quest out. Lovely. Now we have even more incentive to do that skull temple. It's right here. We get a shovel if we do it. Now the shovel's pretty crazy, as every time we move to a new place, we get some extra energy. And energy's pretty useful. So I think we definitely want to head down there. Now, let's think about these other quests. Have characters on spots that are not the coast, and have them 3 cards away from each other. It's going to be hard to do those at the same time, but we can make it happen. We know we definitely want to end up here, and I'm pretty sure that we want this guy to end up there. So that'll be a pretty important thing to try and get going. In order to get him there, though, it might be a little bit difficult. I'm thinking the real question is, so let's say we're trying to get this inland one. We'd have one here, and that's inland, that's not touching the coast, or that's not on the coast. You get what I mean? Then we'd probably go here, and we'd probably go here. So it's these squares are where we want to end up, I'm pretty sure. And I think I like all of those squares. I'd love to get a goblin. We can get this sun temple. which would advance, and then we'd get 2 of our legendary items. That would be pretty great. I'd like to have both of them. And then taking out a goblin would be quite a few points. And we can focus on getting some spells later, I think. So, is there any way that we could get our guys 3 apart? We'll need to check the movement options for that, huh? Let's start with a good old switcheroo. A good old shuffle. Alright, we're starting with Griffin and Horse. Pretty good starting ones. What could we do with a horse? What could you do with a horse? What could you do with a horse? Horse, we can go in this line here. This is maybe the best space for horse. Diagonal, though, we could get a guy right here. If we went from here, we could raft down. If we went from here, we could also raft down. Or horse over. I'm gonna say we go with Griffin once again. And let's just put one of our guys there. And let's do another little... Whoop. There we go. We have raft and ship. Interesting. Now I think raft is the more useful one here. We probably want to ignore ship for this one. Just because I don't think I'm going to get any value out of it. Now we know that horse and foot are still in there. So I think if I raft... That's a good question. If we're not, let's say we're not going to use ship. We're just trying to plan this out here. But we could do either 1 or 2. I think what that means is we're going to move this guy so that he is... We don't want to put him here, because then his item will activate and he'll be stuck. He'll be trapped. So I think what we're going to do instead is put him right here. Then we use horse. Yeah. And then we should be guaranteed to get the thing that we want. So then raft is gone. And we'll sort of shuffle these up. Doesn't really matter, I guess. So foot is next. And we're just going to get rid of... We're just going to set the ship card down. Because we're not going to be picking it. So we have to go foot first. Let's put our best foot forward. Now we definitely want... Since horse is going to be the next one, we definitely want to get this guy here. And then this guy here, and he'll end up on that space because of his key. Well, that's pretty good. Now, since we have everybody on the coast, not on the coast, we actually don't have anyone on the coast, we can take any goblin token that is in play, that is not attacking a hero, and place it on our score pile. What we're going to do is we're going to take this one that's angry right here, and we're going to add it to our score. And that's pretty good. Not only do we get a quest for doing that, but we also get a goblin. And now, it's time for the night phase. Which is going to get pretty interesting. So here's 2 things I forgot to do. We went up a spell level, which means our max energy increases by 1. So now we can have up to 4 max energy. Isn't that cool? And just because we got a goblin, our max health goes up to 7. So that's pretty exciting. Anyway, well, let's get to rolling. Oh wow, look at that. We get a pretty exciting roll. We've got a map, we've got some power, we've got a lot of mushrooms. So let's gain an energy, since we just freed up our max to do that. Now, let's bump this up 1, 2, 3. And we got a map. Boop. Perfect. Kind of scared with this going up so quickly. It didn't go up at all last time. Oh wow. Now, this happens first, which means we're still in number 1, which means it doesn't happen at all. Then, we grab this guy, and we'll go up into level 1. Next, we've got a couple actions to resolve here. We have 2 of these, so we can at least move 1. But I think we're going to spend some energy to make this one into 2. So we'll spend 2, go from 4 to 2. And then, boop, already almost done with that. Finally, bonk. Nice little bonk on that guy. Pretty good stuff, pretty good stuff. Let's see. Lots more stuff. Now, we've got some even more interesting things. When we are in level 1, we do take the first damage, which means we go down. If we got a second damage, it means we wouldn't take the second. But then the third and everything preceding, we all take all of those. It's pretty confusing, honestly. And since we're in level 1, we don't take the first energy. That also goes away. So that's relatively annoying. We get 2 of these. 1, 2. It's getting pretty dangerous. And then we have a scroll, so we can go 1 more. In there. I'm really hoping to get these torches and these punches pretty quickly. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Well, ask and you shall receive. So first, this doesn't count. Second, we go up. Now we're in level 2, which means all of the goblins hurt and we get no energy. That's pretty scary. But we do get to move to the last space here. So here's the question. Do we want to keep going, and maybe we can get some more damage on this goblin, and maybe we could even finish this temple? I think I'm going to keep going. We'll do at least one more roll. Alright, wish me luck. Oh no. No energy. We take 1 damage, so now we're at 4 health. We take 2 damage, so now we're at 3 health. And then we send the token all the way up to the max. What happens when it's at level 3? No energy. All goblins now deal 2 damage. And the mushrooms do 1 damage. I think that's going to be it for tonight. we're going to need to maybe try this again later. So, let's see. What happens when all of that happens? Now, take this guy. Since he completed, he'll go back. And we'll get access to this quest. Since we didn't take the end quest, this one gets discarded, so we can no longer complete it. We'll replace it with a new one. Now, this guy, he goes back too, and this goblin, he resets. So we didn't accomplish anything there. This guy, though, he's still trapped in here, so he won't be returning tonight. It does mean, though, that we can work on it next night. And we'll move the counter up to 3. We'll move this counter back down to 0. And we get access to our legendary sword. Look at that. Whooshing! And we'll put that on there. He'll be pretty useful in taking out goblins. Let's not forget our shovel, though. We'll definitely want to equip that. And I think what would be more dangerous than a sword and shovel wielding warrior? I'd be pretty scared. Now, since we returned 2, I think I'm going to grab 2 more health. So we'll go from 3 to 5. And we'll set this off to the side. Alright, let's keep it going. I think I want to try and get a goblin tonight. Let's see what type of quests we have. Have all 3 of your heroes in a horizontal line, each on separate map cards. So we could do that. We just need to get them right here. So we could get the goblin, and then maybe there's something we can do over here. We can't learn this spell because it's 4 away. The max we could do is 3 away, so we could get this bunny spell. We could also have all 3 of your heroes at least 3 map cards away from your castle. Count map cards orthogonally. And that can't happen because we can't move this guy. So this one's basically useless. But we could get the ice temple. And that's in this line here. So I say we go for this line. We go 1 here, and then get 1 all the way down here. We'll get our temple guy. Okay. And I think since we're thinking about that, and they're still in the castle, let's actually switch this shovel. It'll get a lot more use if we put it on the guy who's going to be moving more. And let's begin. Ooh, I almost forgot. Thanks for reminding me. Of course, me. Anytime. We need to make sure we replace this goblin, and we need to make sure that we flip 3 of these to angry mode. So we're going to do all 3 of these guys. 1, 2, 3. What do we got? First options, horse and foot. Let's see. Foot would be pretty good this early on, but we could also do that with Griffin. Interesting. Let's do foot with this guy. And I'm going to quickly grab that quest. I can't remember exactly what my shovel does. Here we go. I found it. When the equipped hero moves to a map card, immediately roll the dice and gain 1 energy for each energy rolled. That's pretty powerful, I would say. So let's move by foot this guy. He's gonna go right here. We could gain more energy by doing that, but I'm not too bothered. I think it'll get me plenty of energy otherwise. And let's roll some dice. How many energy do you think we're gonna get? I hope we get exactly 2. Oh, if you guessed 1, you would be correct. We got exactly 1. Not a bad number. I'll take any amount of energy, honestly. Oop. Oop. So we went up from 2 to 3. Isn't that awesome? Next up, shuffle, 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 shuffle. I'm not looking at it. There we go. Oh, it's still horse. Horse and ship. Horse and ship. I think... Ooh, that is a good question. If we want to get this, we've got 2 more moves to do it. We're going to be taking Griffin to move this guy here. But we need to have him on the coast. Raft isn't going to help us, so we can't do Raft. Oh. Could we have possibly ruined our chances of doing this by using foot? It's very possible. If we took a raft, well, maybe we do want raft. We have horse and ship right now. Interesting, interesting, interesting. If we took ship, this guy on the coast, and we brought him down here, right? We could land on this grotto, which allows us to move another character 3 map cards. But I don't think that really helps at all. We're trying to get to the ice temple, but also have all of them, in a horizontal line, each on separate map cards. So we can just do this. If we go by ship, we go here, and then they're in a horizontal line on separate map cards. And then we still have it does mean that I sort of messed this up. I kind of made a few problematic decisions. I shouldn't have used this guy first. I was hoping I could get more energy out of him by moving him more. But let's correct our quest. Let us correct our quest. We gain a lot of energy from doing this. So now we're all the way up at max. So it really wasn't even worth it. But it's what happened. Now if we have one hero on a spell, a goblin, and a temple, we could have that happen. Let's see if we can do that. I've got horse or raft. Pretty interesting decision, I would say. We have one person on a temple, but we want this guy to be over here. And I want this guy to be on a goblin. He could get on a goblin if we went down here, which would be pretty good. So yeah, it sounds like then we have goblin. We'd be doing 2 dungeons, so we wouldn't be able to do this. That is a good point. And I only have 2 moves left, so I have exactly enough. I think this quest should stick around for an okay amount of time, because this one, we'll be getting this one, and then this one can go away, and then this one. So I think we'll be good to do that next round. So let's, for now, horse. Oh, I can't. Can I? Because I can only have one of each color over here. Isn't that problematic? But if we do anything else... Oh no. Isn't that problematic? I really messed this one up, huh? We can still fix it, though. Because you know what we can take? Raft. And we can go right here. Now when we land, whoop, this guy flips over so we can fight him. And that's raft gone. And you know what still remains? Horse. Right here, and normally I would roll for more energy, but since we're already at max, I'll show you in a second, we won't be needing to. So, I say we did a good enough job. Not the best by any means, but a pretty good job. Here we are. There is, where do we want to put this? How about right here? That's probably the best spot. And, hacha. You ready to kick things off? Here we go. Pretty exciting. This doesn't count because we're in level 0 again, excuse me. We got maps, we got torches, we got energy. Now I don't need this, so it's kind of useless right now, unless I do need it. We could use it to turn these into 2. That's a pretty good point. I would like to do that. I really want to finish this temple off. Regardless, we're going up 1 over here with this torch, so that's already gone. Let's spend 2, and then get 1 back to make this into 2. And then you're right there. And then we'll do a little bit of a paunch on this goblin right here. Perfect. Now, what's next? Now remember, we ignore this first one. Energy. Magic. And these. So I'm going to go up on the magic. I'm going to grab this energy. And I could use more energy to try and complete those. But I think since I don't have the goblin completed, I guess this one would be worth it. So let's spend 2 to go up 1 over here. And I think that's what we're going to do this turn. Let's go again. Oh, wow. Oh, that was a map. There we go. A scroll. A tapestry. Alright. Goblin over here, because it don't matter. Get 1 of these. Do a paunch. Bonk. And then 2 of these. Boop. So that's all done. Perfect. Now we just need 2 torches and 3 paunches. Ooh, wow. There's the magic. The magic has arrived. We go up 1, 2, 3, all the way up into level 1. And this doesn't really do anything for us. So we'll go again. Interesting. We do take this first one. Oops. Not this second one. We do not gain energy. And we go up 1 more, and we do a little bit of paunch. So let's take some damage. Let's paunch this fool. And let's go up 1. Ooh. Now, these 2 torches are exactly what I needed. We don't get the first energy. We do get the second one. So we can make a little nice stack right there. Did the torches. And now we just have this paunch left. Bonk. And I think since we're right at the end here, let's use that wonderful sword that we got. During the night, The equipped hero gains 1 paunch for every energy spent. All we need is 1, so we'll just spend 1, and boom, that goblin's gone. And just like that, incredibly successful night. So let's get everybody back. We get 1, we get 2, we get 3. Oh, I almost forgot what was happening. We get a shield that we completed this temple, so the shield goes up, which means it is complete. We get this pipes quest, which means we get, where are they? Here they are. Pipes. And we get to have 3 go up. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I think 3 health, always. 1, 2, 3. We defeated a goblin, so we go up to 8 max health. It was this goblin right here. He'll go on to our score pile over here with this quest as well. We're getting quite the stack of things over here. I'll show you at the end. That'll be kind of a bigger reveal that way. Now, 3 more goblins become angered. And this new one we're going to place in will also be angry. Lots of angry goblins on the board. Now, where do we want this shield to go? It doesn't particularly matter. So we're going to put it on this guy. I feel like he deserves to have that. And I think it would be cool to make sort of a bard character with a sword and some pipes. Now, we can block damage in the night when we get hit with those goblins. So we can spend 1 energy now to do that instead of 2. And that's pretty good. Also, with these pipes, regardless of what movement card we select, this guy can always move by Griffin, which I think is pretty useful. It means we can just keep farming this one, which I think will be really smart. Now what I'm very excited about is this bow. Now what the bow does is you can hit all surrounding goblins. So let's say we were doing this temple, right? And we could hit this goblin and we could hit this goblin. Not at the same time, but we have access to them. There's a potential that we might be able to get a lot of use out of that. However, it does seem like our map is not that great for it, as this is really the only spot where you can get to. If you were here, let's say, you wouldn't be able to get these 2 because this map card is diagonal. So, well, actually, if we're here, we could get this one. If we're here, we could get this one. So it's these couple spaces here, this sort of, so it's sort of in this sort of area. Okay, I would like to do that, and I recall checking my staff, my stave. That requires me to complete the forest temple first. So that might be a really good idea then, huh? If we get up there and we start doing that. What did we want to do? We wanted to have 1 on a spell, 1 on a temple, and 1 on a goblin, which is definitely something I can do. Where's the spell that I need? I would like to get, I think, the spider spell. Do you see where the spider spell is? Oh, would you look at that? It's right next to it. What about the rabbit spell? The rabbit spell is right down here. I think those are our 2 options. Either the rabbit spell or the spider spell. think they're the most worth it, personally. As long as we get at least the spider, we'll be great. Get a little bit of extra points with rabbit, but it's, I don't know. I don't really... I think there are bigger fish to fry. I mainly want it for the quest. Okay. Shall we see what movement cards we have then? We shall. Embark with me upon an epic quest. Our options are move by foot or move by griffin. Interesting, interesting. Now, either of these are good. And I think we kind of want to use both, right? Like, basically all we need to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, we want to go here, and we want to go here, and that's it. So, and that gets us all of the quests that I'm worried about right now, honestly. Yeah. So let's start with our energy replenish guy, and we'll get him on the temple. And we'll do that with Griffin, I think. And he'll go to the first spot. And we'll roll these dice. I shouldn't roll them off screen. Let's get him on screen here. There we are. No energies for me today. That's okay. And we'll mix them up. Next up, raft or horse? Good question. Oh, you know what's an even better question? I can simply... Okay, so let's think about this for a second. I can use any of these to move by Griffin to get him here. So then I'll use foot for the other one. So that's 2 moves. Which means I have a third move to burn. You feel me? Which means I have a move to burn, which means we're going to idle. We'll idle this turn. So I'll just select raft, and we'll idle. And what idling in your castle does is it means we can gain energy or health. I'm going to take 1 extra health, because I think that'll be pretty beneficial. Now, since it doesn't particularly matter what we draw, we'll start by moving this guy here. We'll flip this goblin over. We'll use horse for that, and move him by griffin, actually, because of the pipes. Then, finally, with our foot, we'll move right here, and boom, we got it. Now, let's get a rolling. Here we are, all of our lovely things, and all of our lovely dice. Let's begin, shall we? Oops, dropped one there. Oh my goodness, you'd think I'm cheating. I might as well be. That's 4 right out the gate. Paunch, paunch, paunch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We only need 2 more for that goblin to be defeated. And a torch, which means we're here. Oops, don't slip and slide. That's rather incredible. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen before. We got 1 torch. These scrolls are useless to us currently. And whoops, forgot to move this down. So we'll go 1, 2. We're right there. Have 1 torch. Let's spend 2 of our energy. And let's move him 1. Well, I think you're right. I heard what you were saying, and I think you're right. I think we'll actually stay, because we need this magic track to go up a lot more before we can learn our spider spell. We need it to be in tier 2, here. So we will definitely wait. I don't think we spend any of our energy yet. We also have plenty of health. Let's see. What's next? Let's put these in order really quick, since we have pretty much one of every symbol. Just missing a scroll, and it's impossible to have that, so. Now we're in tier 1, no damage. We do gain 1 energy, so that's pretty nice. We do gain this, a torch, and I think we're still going to wait. Well, I think we're still going to wait. And then 1 paunch, bonk. Well, if we're doing a paunch, let's move. Let's do it. We'll go down to 2 energy, and we'll move to the next spot. I don't know. Something about that feels correct to me. Now, what do we have going on here? Ignore the first one. Take the second one. Don't have any of those. And this guy is complete. So that's lovely. Next up, let's do it again. There's our 2 for this. So even if we don't get the spell, oops, you know what I should have been doing this whole time? I should have seen what my new quest was. These rewards, the gain 3 life or gain 3 energy, don't matter as much since we didn't have spots anyway. But that does matter for our points. What was I just about to do? New quest. Starting to get a little bit scatterbrained here. If we do that fire temple, we could get a bomb. Not a real bomb, a bomb in the game that we're playing. So don't worry about it too much. Would you look at that? Ignore this. Oops, that was a map. We got 2 energy and a magic. 2 energy we can fill up to max, which is lovely, because we're also going to be going into difficult energy territory. Pretty much all we want is 3 of our little magic mushrooms. And then we are complete. That's 1. Now we just need 2 more. We're getting real lucky. Oh, there's 1. Can't use the energy, can't use anything else. Again, we're getting real lucky here, folks. Oops, I dropped that. My bad. We're in the 2nd tier, so we do take this damage. Boop. I'm not too worried about that. Let's continue on. No magic mushrooms, we just need 1 more. And there's 2. Perfect. 1, 2, which gives us +2 to our current spell level. We're trying to learn the 3rd level spell, which means we can learn it. And wouldn't you look at that, folks? Yet another incredible night. So 1, 2, 3, and this, bloop, 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 and I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, you, bloop, and this, bloop. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right. We returned 3 characters. We got 1 goblin. We went up to... Whoops. We will have 6 max energy because we're at spell level 3. We'll go up to max health. 1, 2, 3 max health for returning everybody. I'll add this to my stack. I'll add that to a character here in a second. I'll add this to my stack. We'll move this staff up 1. We're in the perfect position to do this fire temple next, which is huge. And let's equip this bow to our shield carrier. Look at that. That's pretty cool. All right. And let's move this away. What are we hoping to accomplish tonight? We definitely want to do this fire dungeon. That's a quest. And that finishes off our final legendary item. So that would be incredible. Let's check to see how many quests we have. We can only get points for 10 of them. So if we have or are approaching 10, we might want to consider that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well. It's a pretty good thing that I checked then, huh? We definitely want to do that fire temple. But pretty much, quests don't matter to us anymore. We only care about their rewards. So what we should actually plan to do is go to the fire temple and then obliterate some goblins. That's what I'm thinking. So let's see what type of movement options we get then, huh? Oops, I forgot to put a goblin out. New goblin. There we go. Foot, griffin. I feel like we've seen this combo a couple times. Let's. I'm not actually looking at them. There we go. Ship, foot. Okay. I'm good with that. Let's see. We want to get here. We want to get this guy here. What's the best way to do that? Good question. So we could horse, raft. We could foot, horse. We could... It's pretty much, I think we want to take 2 moves, and then the other 2 can kind of find their way. Normally, we basically want raft. Well, it doesn't matter. This guy doesn't. We can pick whatever. So this one either needs raft or ship or horse. Let's do foot to start gaining energy. And let's roll for our energy since he moved. Nope. Nothing that time. That's okay. Next up. Raft or griffin? How about we raft? Yeah. Let's raft our guy down here. Oh, that's a good point. We can't fight goblins that aren't active yet. That is a very good point. You are entirely correct. You are entirely correct. How many moves do we have to make this happen? So we have 3 of these cards. We want to move this guy 1. He just needs to move 1. You need to hit 2 of these and then just get this guy anywhere else. So pretty much he's moving first. In order to move you from here to here, we either need to use this to move our character 3 maps, or we need to use horse. There's no other way to do that. we could go ship to here. Remember, Griffin Raft are on top. Horse is basically spoken for because we need to move him here or we need to do here. If we went here to here, can he go here? He could go here to here. So, oh, but I'm going to be taking, I see. We'd have to hope for a pretty good energy roll because we'll need to move through a lot of these. I have 4, which means I could make it work. We go around the long way, which means this turn with Griffin and Raft, we are going to raft this guy down to here to flip this goblin. Next up, ship and horse. Wait a minute, did I mess this up? Hold on, I'm thinking it through. Thinking about it. If this is just a goblin round is what it seems to be, because I horse and then he ends up here. And then I have 1 move left. Or I ship 1, 2, get to here, and then it doesn't matter what the next one is, I Griffin to get to here, and then we fight a bajillion goblins. What do you think? I think fighting more goblins sounds way more fun. Would you agree? I think I agree with that. So let's use the ship. 1, 2, 3. So we go from 4 to 2 energy. These guys get flipped over. Next up, doesn't matter what I select, we're going to be using the pipes to go 1, 2, diagonal on the Griffin to get that guy. And just like that, it's goblin time. Okay. Are you ready for goblin time? I know I am. I am ready for goblin time. Okay, here we go. Wish me luck. Let's see what happens. Off to a great goblin time start. So, we will gain 1 energy. We will move up 1. We will punch 2 goblins. Which ones do we want to punch? Very good question. Let's start on this one. We'd want to do, whoops, my hand's in the way. We want to do this one last because the sword allows us to attack it very quickly. This one is a bonus. We want to start with this one. So we'll go 1, 2. Perfect. And we already went up on our magic. We're doing some speedy rolls this time. Now, first goblin, ignore. Ignore. We love it. Then we do these. Go up in energy. 1, 2 of these. And let's do it again. And then we get this. So up 1 energy. And let's do it again. Ignore the first one, use the second one. We're now in level 1. Let's do it again. Ignore the first one, take the first one, up 1, 1 damage. And let's do it again. Up up one more. This is not going very well for us, huh? Ignore the first one. Up 2. 1, 2. This is getting real dangerous. We haven't beat a goblin yet. Okay. This. 1 damage. This doesn't do anything. We hit for 3. I currently have 5 energy, and I will not be getting more. 5 energy means 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one is gone. But we're going to keep it just in case we get hit for a whole bunch of damage. So all 3 of these should go into this guy. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, very lucky. This doesn't count, this doesn't count. 2 of these. So shift this one by 1. I'm going to 1, 2. Up a magic level, which is really bad. That's really, really bad. It means all of our goblins. Okay. Whew. Are we feeling lucky? Are we feeling lucky, folks? I think we're feeling lucky. Oh gosh. This is 1 damage. Can't block it even if I wanted to. 1, 2. If we hope and pray for not a lot of hits, we could get out of here with 3 goblins. I think it's worth it. Ooh, that's 2 damage, and I'm gonna block it for 1 energy. Because of my shield. Does mean I need a punch over here, so now we need 2 punches. Oh gosh, that's a lot of hits. We take 1 damage, that's unblockable. And now I need to consider if we take, let's think. If we block 1, if we block 2, I think we're gonna block 2. So 1, 2 energy, and we already took that damage. I think we're just looking for 1 more punch, and then we're out of here. There it is. So we take 1 damage guaranteed. I'll use the energy for the other one, and we'll punch, and that'll be the end of tonight. So 1, 2 goblins. And return all 3. We'll get 1, 2, 3 health back. Health is now at max of 10. I would say fairly okay. Not the best, not the worst. This gets deleted. And we shift that over. All right, final round. What do we think? We are currently sitting at 5 goblins, which means if we get 1 more, if we get 2 more, that's 8 more points. I see. Let's put down some goblins and make some goblins angry then, huh? There's 1 goblin. There's 2 goblin. Which 3 do we want to be angry? I think these. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. And we'll shift that back down. Okay. I'm just going to get straight into the movement cards. See how this goes. Wish me luck. Here we go. Horse. Griffin. Griffin loves being on top there, huh? Let's see. I think we're going all in on goblins again. Well, we could use some more resources. How about this idea? How about, before we move at all, since we're still on our castle, we can switch these things around. I'm thinking we switch it so that this guy has the shovel. Since I want to move him to get in position for something else. I've got a plan, don't worry. We're gonna move diagonal and wind up at this castle. When we enter a castle, we can gain energy or health. I'm going to gain 1 health, so now we're at 7. Griffin is gone. Horse goes to the bottom. Foot or raft? Let's see. I would like to raft up to here. So now I can get this goblin because of the bow, and I can work on this temple. I'm not doing it for this quest. I'm trying to get my legendary item. So raft is out of the picture. This to the bottom. Ship or horse? A very good question. I think, let's see. Likely we are going to do, yeah, so it will be ship and then horse, I guess. I don't know. We'll do ship, I think. And I think I just want to move this guy right here and flip this one. Ship is out. Now, foot or horse? Good question. I think we'll just move right on over here. Doesn't particularly matter which one we use to do that. And we're going all in. Final round. Let's see what we can get done. Oh. I went 1, 2. I should roll twice to see if I get any energy back. Oh my goodness. That's 3 energy. So we go from 1 to 4. Well, let's roll one more time. We get 1 more, so we're at 5. Almost back up to max. I'm really happy I remembered to do that, huh? Okay. We're hoping for a lot of paunches. And some maps. Maps would be great too. Ignore the first one. Take the second one. Map, punch. Pretty good. I'll take 1 damage. And we'll move up by 1 on here. We'll do 1 punch against this guy. Just because I like using the bow. And we'll move 1 map. Next up. 1, 2. Ignore the first one. Don't need torches. 1 punch. Perfect. We're gonna speed round this. You ready? Oh my goodness, so many energies. Okay, so we should spend... We'll gain 1, then gain 1, spend the remaining 2 to go 1, 2 into that guy. Perfect. That's another map. That's another mushroom. We're now into 2, and this is another punch. We do take this first one now. Oops, we lose this first energy. So we'll take 1 damage. I'm going to, well, do I block 1 damage or do I deal 1 damage? Let's block 1 damage with that energy that we just got. So these are done. Let's go up 1, and let's do punch on this guy. Perfect. We do take this first one. We have 2 maps, and these torches don't matter. 2 maps gets us to here. 1 damage. Alrighty. We skip the first one. Alright, so we get 1 energy, which I'm going to spend to hit this guy. Going to go up 1. We have 1 map. I don't think I want to spend... Well, I guess I'm only using it to block. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think we're going to do it. I have a feeling we're going to get those last 2. Okay. Take the first one. Skip this one. 2 punch. So 1 damage. Unless I mitigate it. I'll mitigate it. And we get these 2. So we go 1, 2. Whoops. 2. Alright. Should I have done 2? Let's go. We'll go back. We'll do 2 over here. I think you're right. That kind of looked like cheating, but we have 1 of these. We'll go up another one. We have 1 of these. Up another one, which means no more energy. 1 punch into this guy. I think now I'm going to do 1 over here, since I don't have any more energy. Oops, I can't even see what those are. There you go, there's your last one there, which will go in here. We go up another one. Getting kind of dangerous. Oh, what do we got? Up another one, so we're in the final tier now. Got 2 of these and a scroll. 2 gets us 1, 2, so we just need 1 more. Oh, if I get hit for big damage next turn, I die, so I shouldn't spend energy to get to the last thing. If we get a good roll, this could be it. Let's see. This is 1 damage, so we'll take... This is nothing. That's something. We get 2. We spend 2 energy to turn this into 2. 1, 2. Final space. 1 punch, 1. 1 punch, 1. And that's it. We got everything that we were hoping for. And we get access to this legendary item. We get this quest, which doesn't even matter because it doesn't count for anything. So let's count up the points. We got 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna quickly... Let's do a quick stack, and we'll get this all set up for some counting then, huh? Goblins off to the side. our little guys. Oop, there we go. Look at that. Gets cleaned up so quick. Now, let's lay everything out that we got. And we got quite a few things, let me say. These are all of the things in our treasure pile. We have all 3 legendary artifacts. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goblins, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 quests. Let's do these in rows of 5. How about that? 10 quests. We didn't get too many magic spells. We only got to level 3, but that's okay. Since we're all complete, let's see how many points we end up getting. So, let's start with our spells. We got level 3, which means we get 1 point for that. So 1. Quests, we got all 10, which means we get 30 points for that. So 31 so far. Then for goblins, we got 8, which means we get 25 points. So that's 56. And then finally, each of our legendary items is worth 4 points, which means we get another 12 there. So 56 plus 12 is 68. Isn't that incredible? 68 points. What an incredible adventure we had today. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Not to steal that outro, but I had a really good time. I'm glad that you stuck around, and thanks so much. You have a wonderful rest of your day, week, month, year, eternity, affinity, and the void. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.